Gumbo Podcast Live Edition. I am glad that you decided to join me tonight as you come in. Make sure that you share and invite this with your friends and family. We got another amazing show and some things we're going to talk about. You know, I always try to peel the layers back because I want everybody to be better. I want people to start getting on the path to healing and making better decisions and communicating better and all that good stuff. I got a big job ahead of me, but I'm built for it. So what I want you to do is I want you to give me about 30 seconds. I'm going to make sure that everything's going where it needs to go, and we're going to get started. So stand by.
Okay, everybody wants good love, that's true, I know. Derek Jones about to break it down with the relationship gumbo. Welcome to the podcast. Ain't no doubt we all need this, ayy, cause better relationships need better ingredients, ayy. So if you want better relations, it's about communication, finding love, staying together. We all wanna make it better, yeah. Derek Jones, the host, your relationship coach. Thank you all for tuning in. Relationship gumbo, ayy.
All right. Again, I say welcome. As you come in, make sure you share and invite. Let me know you're here. Say hello. Feel free to comment during the show, and your comments will be read. And comments or questions will be read live on the air. So make sure you come in. I got some good stuff for you. So what we're going to do is the way that this normally goes, if you're new here, is I will pause for 3 seconds. We will start the podcast, and then at the end of the podcast, I'll pause for another 3 seconds so I can chop it off because this is also an audio podcast. So we have an interesting topic tonight. Are we putting unrealistic expectations on good people? I need you to think about that. Let it marinate for a minute because we're about to get into it. And as you come in, like I said, say hi. Say what's up. Let me know you're here because we about to go under the hood and figure out, you know, why we do some of these things we do. So without further ado, let's get started. And welcome to another episode of the Relationship Gumbo Podcast. My name is Derek Jones, and I am your host. I am a certified life and relationship coach, an engineer, a strategist, and a mental health advocate. And tonight, our topic, this is another one that's near and dear to my heart, and I know a lot of people feel like this, go through this, et cetera, et cetera. So I always like to bring these things to the table and we can peel back a few layers so that we can really start thinking about how we're treating other people. So tonight's topic is, are we putting unrealistic expectations on good people? Now, I have a couple of scenarios or sections, if you will, about this. It is not every reason why you would do this, but I have about 3 or 4 that I'm going to go through with you, and I really need for you to either A, see if this applies to you, or B, if it applies to someone you may love or know or whatever, because it needs to be talked about. So when we put how we would want, and let me preface it with this. A lot of times, male and female, we have expectations in our head about who our potential mate should be, how they should behave, things that we would love for them to do. For an example, you know, some men may say, well, she needs to know how to cook. And the woman may say, you know, he needs to, you know, be this and that. So let's deep dive a little deeper into this because I really want you guys to understand where I'm going with this. So sometimes we look for people that are like our mom or our dad, and things of that nature. We want them to kind of do some of those same behaviors. Like, oh, your dad, you know, he always changed the oil in the car. So now you looking for your man. If he can't change the oil, then you mad because you don't think he's a real man, because your idea of what a real man was somebody like your dad who used to change the oil, right? So let's follow this logic. So the first category or bullet point that I want to talk about is you put expectations on your significant other or the person that you're dating in hopes of having a long relationship. You're putting expectations on them based on somebody that you used to date, right? I'm gonna let it marinate for a minute. Somebody you used to date, y'all had some good times, but it didn't work. And there's some things that they used to do that you miss. So you go out here and you get your new man or your new woman, and they just don't match up to those things. And you start getting a little upset. You're not telling them that you're getting upset, but on the inside, you're like, dang, I wish they was more like Tommy. Oh no, I wish they was more like Billy, right? And or Susie, right? I wish they did that thing that my ex did, even though we didn't work out and I hated a bunch of stuff about my ex. These few things, the new person, they need to do that, or else they not gonna match up to what I want, and I'm gonna be pissed off, right? Now, the reason why I said unrealistic expectations on good people is because you can have a perfectly good candidate for a mate standing right in front of you, and the expectations you have don't even have anything to do with them. It has to do with some other, factors that will make you overlook the green flags, right? The things that you probably should be welcoming into your life, right? And Erica Warren on Facebook says, "Are we expect a new person to be everything that our ex wasn't?" Yeah, you're right. And I always talk about this. There was a relationship that I was in, and when I got out of it, I didn't qualify the next relationship. The only qualifier that person needed to have was that they were the opposite of the past person. That was it. I didn't look for anything else. And I just went in head first, right? And sometimes we want that person to either be, to Erica's point, we either want them to be something that the ex was or the ex wasn't. And we have those expectations of them. And it's really not fair when you're supposed to be learning this new person. This is a new person. They're supposed to start with a clean slate. And I know that, we have these human emotions and these human desires and human needs, but is it fair to make that comparison to a person that doesn't even know that that's the bar that they're supposed to reach, right? And we do this sometimes consciously and sometimes we do it subconsciously, especially when you're looking for somebody that you want to be like a parent, right? And if you have a fantastic parent, you put that parent almost on a pedestal. And if this man or woman doesn't fit those requirements, then you out of there, or you really pissed off, and now you having an argument over something that person didn't even know what the origin of it was, right? You pissed off. And I'll just keep using, the whole changing the oil thing. Like, if he can't change the oil, then you don't see him as a viable man, because that's a requirement for a man to be able to do that, right? These are the things that we hear out in the universe. And it's not fair when you say you want to be in a relationship, you want to be happy, you want to fall in love. There's no such thing as perfect, right? People have flaws. You make compromise. You do what you can to make it work. But if you already stacking the cards up against them and you're not even trying to really get to know who they are, what do you really have, right? So the next bullet point, and this one right here is, I know a lot of people that fall into this category. So here you go. You want your mate to react and behave the same way that you do. And if they don't, it's a problem. How many people ever thought like that and they really got pissed off because that person didn't react to something, or they didn't get as mad as you got in the moment of something that you thought they should be mad at, and now they're crucified for just being themselves, which is not you. Isn't that funny? Like, we hold people to these standards and these expectations of stuff that's not even fair, because that's not even the person that's not even who they are. But you get mad because they're not you. And you have to really be mindful of that as you try to grow your relationship, that person comes with their own personality, their own characteristics, their own, some people are more mild-tempered, some people like to turn up, and you have to know who you're dealing with, and you can't expect for them to change for you on something like that. Like, you got to take them for who they are. Some things we learn and we mold over time, but you can't change the character in the whole substance of a person just because you want them to be just who really, would you really even want that though? Would you want, like, as a woman, would you want a man that's like the mirror image of how you express your emotions, the way that you express them? Not a man showing a man's emotion, but you want him to react the same way you do, or else it's a done deal. I'm mad at this person because they're reacting, a way that I don't agree with or whatever. And it doesn't even have to be anything that's contrary or something that impedes the relationship. It's just who they are. It's different. It's not bad. It's just different, right? I need you to hear that again. Doesn't mean the person is bad because they're not moving the way you want. They're just different. And we all come out here in the world and we pride ourselves on being individuals and I'm unique and all of this. And sometimes when you get in a relationship, the person is like, no, wait, that uniqueness, I like it, but I'm going to need you to react this way or it's going to be a problem. Erica says, we have to stop basing the quality of our love on a willingness for somebody to change for us. That's toxic. Exactly. And here's the thing. The toxicity of this is you want to find someone that you can grow with, you can get to learn. And then what we try to do is, if they don't fit this perfect scenario of what we think that real man or that real woman is supposed to be, then we try to change them and mold them. And you get mad when it don't work out the way you want to. Think about it like this. Would you want someone to fall in love with a fake Play-Doh version of you that's not even who you are because they trying to change it? And you wouldn't want somebody to do that to you. I would hope not. You want them to fall in love with you, the person, right? So just think about that, guys. When you having that argument because they didn't get mad, some people don't yell and scream and curse. Some people do. And you have to take them for who they are at face value. And so think about your past relationships. Think about people in your family. I know you guys have seen this stuff. And it will take a good person and create a whole toxic scenario where you're fighting and hurting each other off of something as trivial as they're not like you. Just think about that. There's no way that even makes any sense or is fair to the other person who may be the perfect candidate for you. They just don't hit all 99 of your little qualifiers, right? They may hit 90. Sometimes you got to take that. They may hit 75. Sometimes you got to eat that. If they're treating you right and they doing what you want to do and y'all got all these things in common, you got to eat that. You'll never get perfection. Please hear me and understand that. It's not going to happen. Good luck if you find perfection. But unless that dude's name is Jesus, I don't know. But let's move on to the next one. Here's another reason why you can take a good person and put unrealistic expectations. Society. What we see out here in the universe, on social media. This is what a man is supposed to be. High value. All these other terms. And if they're not that, then they don't qualify to be with you. Is that your choice? Or is society pressuring you to make that choice? Think about it. Your idea of what a real man is, does that come from your morals, your upbringing, whatever it is, and what you feel you deem necessary for yourself, or are other people dictating that for you on the outside? People you don't even know. It's not even your family members, right? We can get to that in a minute. This is just strangers on the internet, and you see somebody have a big enough following, and you follow that trend, and now your man or your woman at home got to deal with some stuff you just saw on TV, and you're like, wait, that's not you. Where did you see that? Oh, I just finished watching this movie, and you're not doing what the dude did in the movie, so we got problems now. Y'all was good before the movie, though. Think about it. People be lost in the sauce when they see these movies or they go to these YouTube pages and look at all of this stuff and they like, well, they got 100,000 followers, so this must be true. So my man, he makes about, $60,000 and we good. But now I'm hearing this stuff about this high value man. Wait, they got to make 100K or more. Is he good enough for me now? It's just dumb. Stop it. Y'all need to stop it and choose to be happy with the things that you choose. Like, you're going to have things that you search for. But when I say unrealistic, that's simply what it means. Like, you can have your standards and your boundaries and all this other kind of stuff. But when you start putting your idea that you got from a TV movie on your man or your woman, it's not fair. Y'all need to stop. And if you ain't doing it, somebody you know is doing it right now. They watching what's that thing on Netflix? Malcolm and Marie, and they like look at what they doing. And he did Y'all need to stop. Stop. So we're gonna move on to the next one, right? This the one y'all all know and love. Family and friends. Your relationship gets affected by what your family and your friends think about your mate. And if they don't approve, then you got a problem at home. Even though that person met all of your qualifiers and you happy as hell, the family member comes in and say, nah, I don't think this is good for you. I don't think you should, that ain't a real man. He don't know how to change the oil in the car. Stop doing that. Y'all gonna, you know what? People, and the reason why I keep saying good people, you can have two perfectly good people. You put some outside influence on that, and it will destroy the whole thing. It literally will. And now you taking somebody that could have been right for you, and you destroyed it because you wanted them to be something they're not. Think about it. And we see this happen all the time. And a lot of us have felt this personally, and we didn't like the way it felt. And those arguments don't feel good, and they hurt, and you don't want to have to dealing with that. And we keep talking about this. I'm gonna keep bringing up this theme. It's these little tweaks that change the trajectory of the direction that your relationship goes in. And then you know what happens when you get out of these relationships because of whatever happens, and then you move on, and then you start thinking about it, and you was like, you know what? They was really good to me. I didn't give them a fair shot. Right? Sometimes we deal with that. And, you know, hindsight is 20/20, as they say. You see it clearly after you leave. But you have to really go into a situation where you're dating and get into a relationship, and even when you're married, to stop putting these unfair, unrealistic expectations on somebody that you're supposed to love more than anything. Stop trying to make them into a little Play-Doh monster and trying to turn them into something because it's something that you thought was the perfect idea of a man or the perfect idea of a woman that you saw on TV, or your friends and your family told you, or you saw it on social media. Social media killing some relationships too, for a lot of other reasons. But people do a lot of comparing of relationships. Oh, Susie husband, he does this for her, and look at what you doing. But you've been together for 3 years. It wasn't a problem before. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And those arguments happen. The person who's on the receiving end got to go on defense mode now. Where did that come from? I thought we was good. So please, when you're making your choice and you making a healthy choice for yourself and you happy, don't try to change that person. You fell in love with the person for a reason. And it's a difference for wanting someone to change, and that's different from you wanting them to change so that they can be like someone else. That's the distinction here. It's not fair and it's unrealistic for them to be a clone of your daddy or your mommy. You want them to be just like that, or they not gonna be good enough for me. Because it ain't really, like, if you think about it, it's never really that person is just horrible. It's like they got most of the stuff and you happy. But if they did these few things over here, then it'll be perfect. And those are things that piss you off. Right? We make compromises. We shuffle and move things here and there when you married or whatever, and you kind of make it work. But when those arguments are about other people and social media posts and movies and family, my mama said that you ain't a real man. Okay. Think about it. So this is where we start to think about, how do we, like, if you're that type of person, how do you move differently? How do you think differently? And the key is very simple. You got to know, and I'm going to say this lightly, but it's really serious. Like, so many of us don't even know who we are. And if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what morals you have and the things that you want in life, if you don't know who you are, how are you going to be able to be in a relationship where you're supposed to be yourself? Think about it. And then, if you don't know yourself, who are you pretending to be? And that pretend person is putting some unrealistic pretend standards on somebody that shouldn't even be there. I need y'all to catch that. Please catch it. And once you know yourself, and you know what you will and won't deal with, you know the type of things that turn you on, you know how you want to feel, when you get that stuff, it's going to feel good. It's not going to be perfect. And you learn how to mold and move with the waves of the relationship, and you make it work. Stop arguing about little petty stuff that you saw online. It's not cool. And it's going to destroy something beautiful that you may have been able to have with that person. I need y'all to hear that. First, get to know you so that you know what you need from the other person, so that you'll be able to function better and realize when something don't feel good, cool, you can roll. When something feel good, you nurture that and you build it. You don't nurture it, build it, it's beautiful, and then you watch one YouTube video and then you come home and fight. Not fair. So, I need y'all to, tonight, I need you to share this with somebody that you think needs to hear this, because this happens more often than we think, right? The topics that I pick, it's not a lot of them aren't like these big headline grabbers that you see on YouTube with all of these big YouTube stars. These are the things that people deal with behind closed doors. These are the things that people deal with in their mind, in their hearts, and they sit and they walk around with it every single day. Little stuff. Like you sitting at home stewing because that person didn't do that thing, or they didn't get mad like you, and you stewing, right? And this goes to the last show that I had, the solo show. What happens when you stewing for 5 years? What does that look like? Right? We have to do better in order to get better, in order to feel better, in order to stop hurting each other. And y'all, and I say y'all, meaning the world, people who are dealing with and doing this stuff, stop comparing your partner to other people and thinking that that's going to be the way your relationship works. You build that. You build it and watch it grow. Don't let somebody else dictate how your relationship builds and grows. That's on you and the other person. Think about it. So on that note, I know it's a short one, but y'all need to share this out. And next week, we're going to be back with another amazing show. We're going to get it in. And just stay tuned. This is the month of love. So the next few shows, we really going to dig deep into that love thing. So please come back next week. We're going to have a good show. Stay tuned and follow relationshipgumbo.info and subscribe and follow so that you can get the notifications, because I do some pop-up shows and I do video reviews on relationships and stuff that I find online, and it's pretty funny. We have fun, we learn, and those things just pop up at will. So you might want to, follow me and make sure that you catch those things, because those things are also just as powerful. And also, I have the group coaching. We're doing a session tomorrow. So if you want to sign up for that, that's on the website, relationshipgumbo.info. If you need more personal attention, one-on-one coaching is available. There's t-shirts and merch on the site. And the podcast, the audio version of the podcast is uploaded. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, everything you can think of, I'm there. So just keep keep pushing, keep rocking with me. I appreciate you guys. I thank you for tuning in. And we just gonna have fun. Like 2021, we gotta do what we gotta do. You know, the whole COVID thing and the vaccines and all this other stuff and distance learning and all these things we gotta deal with our families every day. But I implore you, and I have to remind myself sometimes, is that we gotta find ways to relax, to have fun, to make our own fun. These things I tell my 11-year-old daughter when she tell me she bored, and I'm like, you gotta figure out how to make your own fun, because I'm not gonna be able to do that for you today. So we gotta learn how to make our own fun, guys. And that's why I like connecting with you guys so much, because the interaction is something that we need. No matter how you get it, you need to interact with humans and not just your own brain, right? So on that note, we get out of here. I want you guys to have an amazing night, have an even more amazing weekend. If it's snowing in your area or whatever it is, be safe. And I will talk to you next week. Have a great night. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you guys for coming and staying with your boy. And I will see you next week. Same time, same place, Wednesday, 8 p.m. every single week. And have a great evening.
Okay, everybody wants good love, that's true, I know. Derrick Jones about to break it down with the relationship gumbo. Welcome to the podcast. Ain't no doubt we all need this, ayy, cause better relationships need better ingredients, ayy. So if you want better relations, it's about communication, finding love, staying together. We all wanna make it better, yeah. Derrick Jones, the host, your relationship coach. Thank you all for tuning in. Relationship gumbo.